Today, we're diving into a story that blends history, mystery, and technology. We're talking about perpetual motion.
A device that powers itself indefinitely.
Precisely. A concept that's fascinated inventors and dreamers for, well, centuries. And at the heart of our deep dive today is the story of Benjamin Finch.
1723 England. Benjamin Finch, a clockmaker of extraordinary renown.
So, not just some guy tinkering in his shed.
Not at all. His craftsmanship, especially when it came to these magnificent grandfather clocks, was legendary. Nobles, even royalty, they sought after his creations, not just for their accuracy, but for their beauty.
Works of art that also told time. That's fascinating. So where does this perpetual motion idea come in?
Well, here's the thing. Finch, he wasn't content with just building beautiful clocks. He wanted to create something truly extraordinary.
And in 1723, he did just that.
A grandfather clock that seemingly required no winding.
Wait, hold on. No winding, like ever. How is that even possible?
That was the question on everyone's lips back then. Imagine the buzz, the rumors, the speculations.
I can only imagine. A clock that seems to defy the laws of physics. It's like something out of, well, a time travel movie.
People were captivated. They wanted to know Finch's secret. How did he do it?
So what was the secret? Did he ever reveal it?
That's the mystery, isn't it? Finch was notoriously secretive about his methods. He left behind sketches, diagrams, even cryptic notes in his journals, but nothing concrete.
So we're talking about a lost technology.
Potentially. And what makes it even more intriguing is that Finch himself hinted at incorporating a principle that was, well, let's just say ahead of its time.
Ahead of its time, how so?
There's evidence to suggest he was inspired by an ancient text.
An ancient text about perpetual motion. What kind of text are we talking about here?
Unfortunately, the exact text remains a mystery. Some scholars believe it could have been a treatise on alchemy. Others speculate it might have been a lost scientific manuscript from antiquity.
Alchemy, lost manuscripts. It sounds like we're already knee-deep in this mystery. So what happened? Did Finch take his secret to the grave?
Sadly, yes. He died just 4 years after unveiling this mysterious clock.
And the clock itself?
Vanished. Disappeared without a trace.
Wow. Okay, so we have a brilliant but secretive clockmaker. A clock that seemingly defies the laws of physics, ancient texts, and a disappearance. This is incredible. Where do we even begin to unravel this mystery?
Well, that's where our story takes a turn, a jump forward in time to the present day, and the story of Raymond Albright.
Okay, so we're fast-forwarding a few centuries. Who is this Albright fellow, and what's his connection to all of this?
Raymond Albright, an MIT student with a passion for technology, history, and a good mystery.
A person after my own heart. So how does he fit into the story of Benjamin Finch and this mysterious clock? What drew him in?
While researching renewable energy sources, Albright stumbled upon an obscure reference to Finch and his legendary clock.
And that's all it took, a single reference.
Albright was immediately captivated by the idea. Imagine it. A technology that could provide clean, limitless energy hidden away in the annals of history.
It's like something out of a Dan Brown novel. A lost invention, the potential to change the world. Okay, I'm hooked. So, what did Albright do? Did he pack his bags and go on a treasure hunt?
In a way, yes. He dove headfirst into researching everything he could find about Finch.
We're talking ancient manuscripts, dusty old journals.
Exactly. He scoured libraries and archives, poring over mechanical treatises, historical accounts, even the family journals of clockmakers from that era. He was determined to uncover the truth behind Finch's invention. Albright had to rely on his own ingenuity, his ability to track down obscure references, and his persistence in piecing together a puzzle that was centuries old.
It's amazing to think that a single student could make such an impact, just by following his curiosity.
And Albright's curiosity led him to a groundbreaking discovery.
Did he actually find Finch's lost clock?
Not quite. Albright's research took him down a different path, but one that was equally as exciting.
Okay, you've got to tell me more. What did he find?
He discovered that Finch had unknowingly stumbled upon a unique combination of materials.
Materials? Like what kind of materials are we talking about here?
That's where things get a bit, complicated. See, Finch, he didn't have access to modern scientific terminology. He described these materials in a way that, to be honest, sounded more like alchemy than metallurgy.
Alchemy. So we're talking about ancient mystical practices now.
Not exactly. Think of it this way. The language of alchemy, while often shrouded in symbolism and allegory, was also a way of describing the natural world. It was a blend of observation, experimentation, and, yes, a bit of mysticism.
Okay, so Finch was working with materials that, from a modern perspective, might seem unusual, even mysterious. And these materials were somehow key to his perpetual motion clock.
Exactly. Albright, he dug deeper, cross-referencing Finch's descriptions with ancient texts, mineralogical data, you name it. And he started to piece together a theory.
Okay, I'm on the edge of my seat. What was the theory?
Albright believed that these materials, when combined in a specific way and subjected to certain conditions, could interact with Earth's magnetic fields.
Wait, are we talking about harnessing the same forces that make a compass needle point north?
Precisely. Albright's theory was that Finch had inadvertently discovered a way to tap into this natural, ever-present energy source.
And used to power a clock. That's incredible, but also incredibly difficult to prove, right? I mean, we're talking about forces that we're still trying to fully understand, even with all our modern technology.
Absolutely. Remember, Albright, while brilliant, was still a student. He needed help to delve deeper into this theory. He needed resources, expertise that went beyond the walls of MIT.
So he needed someone with the vision, the ambition, and let's be honest, the resources to take this from a fascinating theory to a world-changing reality.
He needed someone like Elon Musk.
Of course. Elon Musk, the man who seems to defy the impossible on a regular basis. Did they connect? Did Albright reach out?
Oh, he did. And Musk, to his credit, was intrigued. He saw the potential in Albright's research, the possibility of unlocking a source of clean, limitless energy.
I can't imagine Musk saying no to that. So they teamed up. What happened next? Did they build a lab, start experimenting?
Not quite yet. Musk, being the pragmatic innovator that he is, wanted to see some tangible evidence. He needed proof that Finch's clock, this legendary device, had actually existed.
That makes sense. I mean, it's one thing to have theories in ancient texts, but without any physical proof, it's all just speculation. So what did they do?
Albright, during his research, had uncovered something remarkable.
What? What did he find? Don't leave me hanging.
He found documentation hidden away in an antique dealer's records for the sale of a grandfather clock matching the description of Finch's creation. It was dated 1724, just a year after Finch unveiled his invention.
Wow, so there was a record of the clock being sold. Do we know who bought it, where it went?
The trail went cold after that initial sale, but Albright was able to track down the lineage of the antique dealer, eventually leading him to a descendant who had inherited the dealer's records and, more importantly, a warehouse filled with his belongings.
Hold on. A warehouse filled with antiques. This is like every history buff's dream.
Albright, accompanied by a small team from Musk's company, gained access to the warehouse. It was a treasure trove of forgotten artifacts. Furniture, paintings, and of course, clocks.
And amidst all of that, they found it. Finch's clock.
Yes. Hidden under decades of dust and forgotten memories stood a grandfather clock of exquisite craftsmanship. The wood was darkened with age, the metalwork intricate and beautiful, and when they wound it, it chimed, the sound echoing through the warehouse like a voice from the past.
That must have been an incredible moment, to stand there in the presence of something created centuries ago, something that held the potential to change the world. It gives me chills just thinking about it. What happened next?
They carefully transported the clock to a secure location. Musk, true to his word, spared no expense in setting up a state-of-the-art research facility dedicated to unlocking the secrets of Finch's invention.
Okay, so we have the clock, the team, the resources, and I bet a healthy dose of secrecy, right?
Yeah.
I mean, this kind of discovery, this kind of technology, someone, somewhere would want to get their hands on it.
You're absolutely right. And that's where our story takes another intriguing turn. Remember the watchmaker.
The one who was also interested in Finch's work. Yes, of course. I'd almost forgotten about him. Where does he fit into all of this?
He resurfaced, drawn to the news of the clock's discovery like a moth to a flame.
This is getting interesting. We'll have to pause here for now, but join us in part 3 as we delve deeper into this mystery.
It seems this watchmaker, he'd been following Albright's research very closely, almost as if he was expecting this breakthrough.
So we're talking about someone who's deeply invested in this mystery, maybe even obsessed. What did he do? Did he try to contact Albright, or maybe Musk himself?
He took a more, shall we say, hands-on approach.
Hands-on how? Didn't he try to steal the clock?
While the clock was being transported to the research facility, the watchmaker, he made his move. There was an attempt, a rather daring one, to intercept the transport.
Okay, this is straight out of a heist movie now. So, did he succeed? Did he get his hands on the clock?
No, thankfully the attempt was thwarted. Musk, anticipating something like this might happen, had employed top-notch security.
Well, that's a relief. I was getting worried there for a second. But still, This watchmaker sounds like a dangerous character. What happened to him?
He managed to escape, vanishing into the night. But this incident, it served as a stark reminder. They weren't just dealing with a scientific mystery anymore. This had become a race against time, a high-stakes pursuit of a technology that could change the world.
With potentially dangerous implications if it fell into the wrong hands. You know, it's interesting how a story that began with a simple clock has taken such a dramatic turn.
Indeed. The quest for perpetual motion, it seems, has always been intertwined with both brilliance and obsession.
It makes you think about the responsibility that comes with such discoveries. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Tell me, what about the research? Did they ever manage to figure out how Finch's clock actually worked?
That's where the story takes, well, an unexpected turn. Remember how Finch's notes were, well, a bit cryptic?
Cryptic is an understatement. It's like he was writing in code.
Precisely. And for months, the team at the research facility, they hit a wall. They analyzed the clock's mechanisms, they experimented with different materials, but they couldn't replicate the perpetual motion. It was like trying to solve a puzzle with only half the pieces.
So frustrating. All that potential right there in their hands, but they couldn't unlock it. What happened next? Did they eventually crack the code?
That's the incredible part. Remember the watchmaker? The one who was so desperate to get his hands on Finch's secrets? Well, it turns out he was also a collector of antique watches.
Okay. How does that fit in?
After the watchmaker's attempt to steal the clock, Musk's security team, they did a thorough investigation. They tracked down his residence, a small, unassuming apartment.
And what did they find?
Alongside his collection of antique watches, they found something else. A hidden compartment concealed behind a false wall.
Okay, this is getting good. What was in the compartment?
Inside, carefully preserved, was a small, leather-bound journal.
Another journal. This is like something out of a mystery novel. What was in it? Was it Finch's?
It wasn't Finch's journal. It belonged to the watchmaker. But what they found inside, well, it changed everything.
Don't leave me hanging. What was it?
The journal contained detailed notes, diagrams, and calculations. Not about Finch's clock specifically, but about time itself.
Time. What do you mean?
The watchmaker, he'd been researching ancient theories, myths, legends, all centered around the concept of time as a force, a dimension that could be manipulated, even harnessed.
Hold on. Are we talking about time travel here? Because this is getting a bit out there, even for me.
Not quite time travel, at least not in the way we typically imagine it. But the watchmaker's notes, they hinted at something far more complex, far more fundamental. It's like he stumbled upon a different way of understanding the very fabric of reality.
Okay, I'm trying to wrap my head around this. So this watchmaker, he was onto something big.
It seems so. His notes, they were complex, often rambling, but there were glimpses of something truly groundbreaking. Ideas that, if proven true, could revolutionize our understanding of physics, of energy, of time itself.
This is incredible. And to think, it all started with a clockmaker from the 18th century. So what now? Where do we go from here?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? The research continues, but it's no longer just about replicating Finch's clock. It's about exploring the very foundations of our universe, the fundamental forces that govern our reality. Who knows what other mysteries, what other breakthroughs await us?
It's both exhilarating and a little bit terrifying, isn't it? To think that we've only just scratched the surface of what's possible. And to our listeners out there, what do you make of all this? Is perpetual motion within our grasp, or is it just a tantalizing dream? Let us know.